Alright, you guys, so today we're going to be looking at this video titled How Elite Athletes Actually Eat, right? So, yeah, let's get to it. Let's not waste any time.
You eat 100 chicken nuggets a day at the Beijing Olympics. I think 1,000 chicken nuggets, and then you won a couple gold medals.
You might think elite athletes have the healthiest diets in the world, or that they don't care and can get away with anything. But the truth might surprise you.
Everybody that's ever been close to LeBron has said how shitty of a diet he has. He eats cookies, he eats everything.
But what looks unhealthy is often consumed by athletes to optimize performance.
If you want to be able to perform the best, no matter what you're doing, you have to be able to have nutritious foods.
But with rumors,
I actually agree with this. You know, like, I agree with that athletes actually do need to kind of eat like this. That's true, right? And I never deny that, right? Like, my channel is obviously about optimizing health and eating on an animal-based diet, right? But, like, at the same time, I understand if you're in a season of training, right? So if you're trying to focus on training for a certain period of time where you're in season, obviously you're going to need more carbs. But instead of eating Nutella and pasta and hot dogs and all this stuff, I'll just eat like some sweet potatoes, a little bit more white rice, and I wouldn't like obviously eat slop like this. That's just the only difference. But obviously I understand, like, when it's elite athletes, I guess it makes sense. But I still disagree with some, like this I disagree with, okay? But let's keep watching.
advertising, and crazy headlines.
It might be quicker to talk about the things that aren't misconceptions.
Good nutrition is at the core of high performance.
That's my GOAT, Ronaldo. But, bro, KFC.
Oh, good.
Insane body transformations, world records, and crazy longevity.
From what I know and from what I read a lot about it, is just more food than gym.
To make sense of it all, I spoke to the coach to the Olympians, the man who wrote the book on peak athletic performance, so we can find out how elite athletes actually eat.
Your diet: 1 cup of coffee, 3 to 4 bags of candy in 1 meal. Is that true? I don't have time to lie.
Some of the world's best athletes have the most surprising diets.
My uncle told me, man, you disrespectful if you call them Skittles. You say they power pellets.
Marshawn Lynch consumed so many Skittles during games, fans held up signs saying, "Feed him and he'll run." Meanwhile, the NFL's fastest player, the Cheetah, credits his speed to an unexpected pre-game snack.
You know, I feel like this is part of my grandmother's secret recipe for me being so fast. You know, this is Cheeto fuel right here. This right here, game day fuel.
Lionel Messi once confessed, "I ate badly for years. Chocolates, fizzy drinks, everything. That's why I threw up during games." Meanwhile, Premier League
That's why he lost the World Cup.
veteran Jamie Vardy has a pre-game strategy that sounds like it belongs to an underslept builder.
At 37 years of age now, what is your pre-match diet?
Wake up, Red Bull, get to the stadium for pre-match. It'd be Red Bull and cheese and ham omelette. Then maybe have a coffee, back to the dressing room to get ready and start sipping on another Red Bull.
Some athletes believe they are able to perform at their best, not despite their junk food diets, but because of them.
We play a barbaric sport. The immune system and the body needs practice. You know how you get practice? By eating
Wow.
Eating
What was I hearing here? I searched the internet for answers, and one name kept popping up: Dr. Mark Bubbs, a top coach to elite athletes. He's the expert when it comes to the science behind their diets. I had to know what he thought about this, and he helped me see through the myths.
I'm gonna grab some water, but I'm still listening.
More importantly, helped me put this together to help you avoid falling for the mistakes.
Supplementation, in my opinion, is one of the most important things in football.
There's thousands of different sports supplements. Athletes who use them have very different stacks, ranging from the basics to the more questionable.
When people take Viagra, it's a performance enhancer when you horizontally, right? Mm-hmm. So they help my performance vertically. Mm-hmm.
And I'm out there going crazy. I'm out there going crazy on half of Viagra and a little bit of Red Bull, and people like, God damn, I can't stop Ocho for nothing.
Before you take one before the gym, there's zero evidence this helps and is more likely to backfire.
Yeah, I'm cramping.
You take anything for the game?
Yeah, Viagra.
That'll make your friend.
So instead of blindly copying what supplements an athlete uses, it's smarter to choose based on evidence and expert advice. So what are some of the most evidence-based supplements for athletes?
You know, vitamin D is really important. And that's one that's easily influenceable with supplementation. So if you live somewhere with a true winter climate, you're going to need to supplement to really get that performance benefit from a recovery standpoint. We know that getting...
Yeah, this is brutal, bro. Like, some of you guys Like, luckily, I live in a place where it's like it's low key. Like, I can get sun most of the time, except winter. Like fall, I can still get sun, right? But bro, if you're in a winter climate, you're gonna have to at least for the winter period, you're going to have to start taking vitamin D supplementation, right? It's unfortunate, but that's what has to happen, unfortunately, you know. Um, Me personally, if it's not winter, like right now it's summer, I'm just outside at least maybe like 30 minutes to an hour. Like that period alone will get you more vitamin D than you would in like pretty much probably a week in the winter time, right? Like it's insane. Cuz most people like when was the last time you sunbathed in the winter in a t-shirt or like a tank top or no shirt, right?
Above 90 nanomoles per liter is where we're going to get immune benefit. Above 75 nanomole per liter is where we get satellite cell activity benefits. Omega-3 is another really important one. Ideally above that 8% omega-3 index range where you're going to get not just benefit for performance, but benefit for things like longevity as well. And a nice one for young athletes or athletes to think about is magnesium. Right, we've got good data now showing that athletes require 10 to 20% more magnesium than the general population.
It's no surprise why top football clubs provide these for their players, in addition to creatine, which can help with strength and recovery, and caffeine, which can boost energy. But scientists argue that supplements are the least important part.
I remember one time, like back when I was playing football, it was the off season, right? Like I used to play football I played for one season, right, in freshman year, and my coach during off season like practice, he was like, "Oh, don't take creatine because it actually increases likelihood of injury." And bro, like it was literally the day after I got my first ever like little tub of creatine. I got it. Next thing you know, literally the day after, he's talking about some creatine is bad. Never spoke about creatine ever before that. Insane, bro. But no, creatine does not cause injury, bro. It's the most studied supplement. So don't worry. Take some creatine if you want to increase your performance in the gym.
Diet. So completely the
or just eat more meat, which again you'll get plenty of creatine since you're going to be on an animal-based diet if you're watching this channel.
Opposite of how they're marketed. Even Tom Brady has said that supplements can't replace proper nutrition.
So why can't you replace food with supplements?
When you get certain things from food, like if you eat...
It's crazy how vegans try and do that with the B12, but it's not going to work.
Eat the whole orange and you're getting all the array of different micronutrients in there. They do have a synergistic effect, so this is why you hear a lot about a food-first approach, which is part of my philosophy as well. We want to try to get things in from food.
So if it's not the supplements they take which sets them apart, then is knowing which foods are good and which foods are bad what makes a difference.
No carbs, no sugar, no dairy, no refined sugar.
You need to cut bread and less dairy. Don't eat cheese that much.
Yes, I am gluten-free since 2010. I'm dairy-free and refined sugar-free.
So why are they doing this?
Dairy is probably one of the ones where just a lot of people have a bit of lactose intolerance that they're not really aware of. And so, you know, if you're intolerant to lactose, then you're going to get some gas and bloating and discomfort.
You just drink raw milk and you won't be intolerant anymore.
And so taking it out obviously improves that. If you can digest dairy, it's the gold standard protein, right? It's tremendously helpful and beneficial. Right? When people talk about gluten, they typically have removed bread. It's not just the gluten in bread, it's the fact that it's highly fermentable. So if your gut already has more quote unquote bad bacteria, you know, if you're stressed, not sleeping a lot, eating a lot of sugars, you're going to have a lot of bacteria in the gut that ferment very well. And so if you add breads on top of that, it's going to create a lot of gas and discomfort.
But while bloating may be about avoiding foods in your diet, micronutrition is more about what you include. A study on 19 Brazilian footballers revealed what happens when these are missing. 68% consumed insufficient magnesium and calcium, 74% lacked vitamin A, and 100% failed to get enough vitamin D. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies can impair testosterone, immunity, and joint and muscle health. One of the reasons Messi hired a nutritionist in 2014, and most top sports clubs have smoothie bars and tons of fruit in their canteens.
Oh, I can't stop the Messi hate, bro. I have to say, oh my god, I just can't stop. Okay, like I'm sorry, but like maybe that's why you lost. Let me stop.
And most top sports clubs have smoothie bars and tons of fruit in
if you know, you know.
their canteens.
Most champions, I think, in the UFC are like 36, 37. So the longer that you can stay in the game and the longer you can, you know, recover, the better you're going to be.
Private chefs and nutritionists handle a lot of the complexity, but the 2024 EPL top scorer boils it down to a simple rule.
I try to eat things that's real, you know, with as less ingredients as possible. I think
I actually reacted to Holland in one of my last, I think it was last week I made a video on him. he eats raw milk. He's on an animal-based diet. Literally exactly what I talk about on this channel, right? So yeah.
So much processed things in this world right now. So I think that's the thing to eat real.
Meat, fish, veggies, fruit.
But wait, didn't
It's almost like what I'm trying to tell y'all on this channel is right.
we just learn?
It's almost like I'm not lying. It's almost like you should try out this diet for a week and see if you like it. I'm not gonna force you. I'm not gonna put you on a regimen, right? Just try it out. Animal-based diet.
He eats cookies, he eats everything.
We know from the
Fish right now. So I think that's the thing to eat real.
Meat, fish, veggies, fruit.
But wait, didn't we just learn?
He eats cookies, he eats everything.
We know from the research that dietary recall is really bad, right? And so you'll get somebody's diet on one day, and all of a sudden that becomes what they do every day. We saw this many years ago with Chris Froome in the Tour de France. He posted a picture of a low-carb breakfast, and everybody on the internet went crazy, saying, hey, look, this guy's low-carb. That was one meal that he had for a planned and purposeful reason of strategically underfueling that morning. But it wasn't what he eats every day.
While DK Metcalf claimed to run on candy earlier, he stated the opposite to GQ, that he was on a low-carb, vegetable diet. This guy. But the best athletes do include junk food in their diets. Tom Brady mentions in his book how he adjusted his strict...
So it's literally just an animal-based diet, but because these are the top of the top elite athletes, they do indulge in some Skittles every now and then, pre-game, or some Rice Krispies pre-game, or intra-game during the game. Yeah, no shit, bro. Like when I was playing football for like the one season I played, bro, we like before the games, literally like we had like the pre-game meals, and I used to eat like 5 Rice Krispies. It felt kind of bad, but I can actually like, well, to be honest, I was kind of benched half the game, so my blood sugar was just spiked, and I was just like fucking jittering because like all the fucking like sugar, and I couldn't like get the energy out. But like if I got on the field, maybe I could actually use that shit. But anyways, back to the video.
approach to include pizza and bacon every now and again, stating, I have a friend who freaks out if it's not the most organic this or that. That stress is going to harm you way more than eating that chippers.
What you don't want to remove in nutrition, and it's easy to do, is the enjoyment of sitting down and having a meal with your friends, with your family. Right?
And that's actually why that's why I disagree with the carnivore crowd and the raw meat motherfuckers, bro. I promise you, no amount of, oh, it's raw meat, I'm 5% better than you in terms of my health, is going to replace the fact that you're depressed. Like, I've never seen a carnivore that's happy, bro, because they're just low energy. No, I've never met a carnivore with a personality. I look, you have to whisper, it's kind of late, but like I've never met a carnivore who's like fun to hang out with, right? Obviously, fruits give you energy, and that's why I'm on an animal-based diet as opposed to a carnivore diet or even a raw meat diet. Obviously, raw meat, like I get the appeal to it. I understand, like if you get it well sourced, okay, fine, whatever. I've had it before. I've tried it before. It tastes good, honestly. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on it. But there's some appeal to speaking with people and being a normal person and having like some culinary, appeal to your food, if that makes sense.
We don't want to turn nutrition into a job because training's hard enough, and being elite at whatever you're trying to do is hard enough, that we want to still keep it fun.
I think people think of footballers as like a machine where we never have cheat meals or we never do anything bad. That's a false reality.
If eating 100% clean was essential to peak athletic performance, why was Usain
By the way, I know I'm drinking out of a plastic water bottle, and I do it a lot, and all my videos you've seen that, but that's because my filter is broken, and I'd rather drink from this than from just tap water, right? So I just do like a reverse osmosis filter, and anyways, just getting that out there to all the but it's plastic, it's BPA, like relax, all right?
Demolishing hundreds of chicken nuggets. And how can you explain the current world's fastest man and his favorite snack?
Raisin Bran Crunch, a necessity of all necessities.
Elite athletes don't always stick.
Yo, I swear everything Noah Lyle says is so corny, bro. Like he's never said anything that's not corny.
To a healthy diet. Some go for surprising and unhealthy pre-game meals. So let's take a look.
Before a competition for me would be like a chicken breast and maybe a little pasta. Carbs help because you're going to go out and play a lot of minutes and things of that nature.
It depends on the individual, but typically Athletes are creatures of habit, so they like to have very similar meals before games. For example,
Carbohydrate bars, banana, a lot of gels and stuff to get the energy back into your body.
you know, health is not the same as performance, and it's not the same as body composition. And so, you know, my philosophy is thinking about it like a triangle. Each end of that triangle, you've got health on the top, let's say. On the lower right, you've got performance, and on the lower left, you've got body composition. If you're trying to qualify for the Olympics and it's every 4 years, you're going to really optimize to peak at that time. So you're moving yourself towards that lower right-hand corner for performance. But ultimately, it's coming at the sacrifice of your health to a certain degree, because if you talk to any of the Olympians afterwards, you know, they're worn out for weeks, months after the Olympics, right? This is sometimes the misnomer we see in social media or online, this idea of just being optimized 24/7, 365.
For some athletes, this might mean eating candy or hundreds of chicken nuggets.
I was just making sure I had the right food because there was something, you're in China, so you don't want to eat anything you don't know.
It's not uncommon for athletes to consume pure sugar before competitions.
This is where speed, right? The ability for the food to get it from your mouth through your gut and into the tissue is the limiting factor. And so this is where those simple sugars can be really effective.
But most athletes' pre-game meals are fairly similar.
I love sweet potato, chicken, broccoli, and some vegetables.
Ronaldo often has chicken, broccoli, and rice, while Simone Biles aims for a salad, chicken, and vegetables.
Around a match day, we won't serve red meat generally the night before the game because it's just too hard to break down.
You know, depends on your sport, depends on the individual, but certainly you're looking to have the bolus of protein, whether it's 20 or 40 grams, and then the amount of carbohydrate will depend really on the athlete, but a decent size of a complex carbohydrate, and then, you know, the amount of vegetable or fruit or etc. is really negotiable depending on how they feel and what they like to have before a game.
But there's no way elite athletes end up performing and looking like they do because of nutrient timing. What's more essential is the overall protein, carbs, and fats athletes consume.
Protein is really the only thing we can kind of set it and forget it.
American footballers need around 160 to 230 grams of protein a day, according to a study, depending on position and weight. Surprisingly, Premier League players, despite being much smaller, averaged around 205 grams per day, well above UEFA's recommendations. Protein plays a key role in muscle growth and recovery, but it's the insane amount of carbs that some athletes consume that's most surprising.
Then as you get into like a Tour de France rider, on certain rides in the mountains, they might have 15 grams per kilogram per day, right? So like triple what an EPL player would have.
This could be almost 1,000 grams of carbs, based on the recent winner's weight. Lastly, while many people demonize them on social media, athletes typically consume 20 to 35% of their calories from fats for health and vitamin absorption. In Chad Johnson's case, while he is eating a lot of McDonald's, after tracking his diet, you can see it provided him with everything he needed. But while sufficient macronutrients are important, their total energy value is by far the most key part of athlete nutrition. And to say athletes can eat a lot is an understatement.
Calories will vary depending on the individual, depending on how many minutes they're playing. And so with basketball, 4,000 calories.
American footballers consume
Sorry,
upwards
bro,
of
the video is getting too long, gang.
5,000 calories a day, depending on their position and weight.
I zoned out like 5 times.
Over double that of the average person, while Premier League footballers burn 3,789 calories on match days and 2,956 calories on training days, on average, according to a small study.
As you go into endurance sport, that's when it really cranks up. Like that's when you get to the 6,000, 6,500. They need to consume lots of fast carbohydrates, which we typically call sugars.
Too few calories can lead to weight loss and poor recovery, while excessive calories can cause fat gain, which isn't always bad.
I used an example in peak about Phil Kessel, NHL player, had one of the higher body fats in the team, but tested first in virtually all of the performance categories and missed the fewest amounts of games. And so it becomes this question of, why are we trying to take 2 or 3% body fat on? What is the goal? Is it actually going to help performance? Is it going to help health?
Getting these fundamentals right is how Chad Johnson was still able to perform at a top level despite eating so much McDonald's.
Now listen to me. I did it with no injury, so you're not going to tell me the way I did it don't work. Because it worked.
And this is what stops me from ever copying what a particular athlete eats ever again. Because Dr. Bubbs suggests there's one major factor that keeps elite athletes ahead.
You're not an athlete, so don't eat athlete meals. Simple as that. Obviously, an athlete is the best of the best in terms of health, but they also are the best of the best in terms of actually doing shit, okay? You're not moving like Ronaldo does on the daily, bro. You're not moving like Simone Biles is moving. You're not moving like Noah Lyles, right? So don't eat like Noah Lyles. Don't eat like Messi. Don't eat like Ronaldo because you're not them. Unless you're specifically training for a sport, right? And even then, you should still optimize for health. Is like at the start, he made it sound like they were just eating candy. Obviously not. They balanced their diets. Is that a mosquito that just got in my room? Fuck. All right. That's gonna be annoying. But don't eat how athletes eat. Just because they eat something doesn't mean it's healthy for you. You can't eat Skittles. You can if you ate the same amount of Skittles as whatever that guy's name was. I forgot who it was, but if you ate the same amount of Skittles, you'd feel like shit, right? So that's pretty much it. If you guys want to join my free community, it's first thing in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna finish the rest of this video. It's 3 minutes of absolute yap and conclusion. So I'm not gonna finish that, but peace.